Yeah, okay, all right.
Yes, please.
So he's asking uh, that depending on what lens one is bringing to the scripture and the scholars one follows, it is easy to perceive certain verses in the Quran or certain narrations or certain aspects of tradition as harsh, like events from Banu Qurayzah and the verses regarding people of Lut alayhi salam and Noah. How do you focus on the beautiful aspects of love and compassion in Islam, as you do in your book, while also holding these seemingly harsher aspects of the tradition in tandem? And he was also talking about, you, just like you said, oh, if you don't pray, you're gonna, the hell, you are going to go to hell, and very harsh approach of some scholars that he was talking about without taking their names. So please go ahead if you would.
That's a wonderful question, and I can tell the person who asked is, thoughtful. They've contemplated and they sought out
Yeah.
their faith,
And
and
there are two
it's
more
really
from
beautiful.
him. So I'll,
One,
yeah.
I'm happy. He seems wonderful, so I'm
Thank you.
grateful that he offered those questions. I would say the first thing is one of the deepest things I've ever learned from one of my teachers, Amani, was that the most incredible verses of the Quran are hidden in the fortress of hell and fire and harshness. Kind of like you protect your gemstones by putting them in a safe that's impenetrable.
Mm.
But if you have the code, the most impenetrable safe opens for you.
Hmm.
And in my experience, the code is sincerity, is humility. The code is I don't know and I don't know how, and I'm not sure. And I need you a lot to create clarity for me and to help me see the inside.
Hmm.
And so a lot of times we approach these verses and we're like, okay, I'm going to try to figure it out. And so
Hmm.
we project our life experiences
Mm-hmm.
onto the Quran.
Yep.
We project our limiting beliefs. We say, misperceptions since childhood. These beliefs we've sort of carried in a backpack on our back
Mm-hmm.
and projected. We say, oh, if this is it, then this is not the God I would. We just automatically go into, I know better. But these verses of the Quran are actually really significant because they force you to say, wow, that's hard for me to hear. Like, I need God's help to hear the frequency beneath what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
And actually, one of the things there's a chapter in the book called Heaven and Hell.
Yes.
In that chapter, there's something around the notion that what is hell, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is fire? And it's interesting when you see the descriptions in the Quran and you can kind of go and highlight. It's always fun to do this where you go and kind of pick out how God describes this reality.
Mm-hmm.
And what you notice is it's very similar to, I don't know if you're in love, been in love, etc., but loving someone, okay? And it could be anything. It could be someone, a spouse, or it could be a child, it could be parent. And imagining, right, in your height of love for them, your height of gratitude and appreciation for them, that Allah takes them and puts them on another planet and says you can't see them, talk to them, or experience them ever again.
Mm-hmm.
And the emotions that you will go through, like how I describe it, like razor butterflies with razor blade wings inside of your stomach, like this boiling despair, this inability to breathe, this anxiety in your chest. These are all, like, literally in the Quran, it says that hell is like the smoke covers you, that it's like your skin is burning from the pain, like your stomach is boiling, like your throat is hurting, like these emotions that come with being distant from that which you love. So even in the verses that are like, wow, it's really hard to read, it's an expression of being far away from love. It's not absence of love, because you have to have experienced or have a deep rooting in love for you to miss it in that way, right? So similar to that parent, child is running into the street and yells loudly, screams, stop, says anything they can to get the child not to run across the street. Sometimes God has to use a loud reminder. Has to yank the hand,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So why? To prevent that next thing that was worse. And for as human beings, we're stuck in time. We're stuck in the present moment. And so we have an imperfect perception of the past, and we're unable to see the future.
Yeah.
And yet with our imperfect past, partial present, and blindness to the future, we want to say how things should be. And so we have to, like, it's interesting because it's like constant, and that's the it's such a cool thing about the Quran, is that it constantly confronts you to give up the mantle of lordship, the idea that you know better. You constantly have to surrender that.
That's a good point. Thank you for that answer. Yes.